You are about to hear selected writings and speeches of Marcus Garvey, narrated by Joseph Kent. The Negro's Greatest Enemy. My doom, if I may so call it, of being a race leader dawned upon me. Current History Magazine, September 1923. I was born in the island of Jamaica, British West Indies, on August 17, 1887. My parents were black Negroes. My father was a man of brilliant intellect and dashing courage. He was unafraid of consequences. He took human chances in the course of life, as most bold men do, and he failed at the close of his career. He once had a fortune. He died poor. My mother was a sober and conscientious Christian, too soft and good for the time in which she lived. She was the direct opposite of my father. He was severe, firm, determined, bold, and strong, refusing to yield to superior forces if he believed he was right. My mother, on the other hand, was always willing to return a smile for a blow, and ever ready to bestow her charity upon her enemy. Of this strange combination I was born 36 years ago, and ushered into the world of sin, the flesh, and the devil. I grew up with other black and white boys. I was never whipped by any, but made them all respect the strength of my arms. I got my education from many sources, through private tutors, 2 public schools, 2 grammar or high schools, and 2 colleges. My teachers were men and women of varied experiences and abilities. 4 of them were eminent preachers. They studied me, and I studied them. With some I became friendly in after years. Others and I drifted apart, because as a boy they wanted to whip me, and I simply refused to be whipped. I was not made to be whipped. It annoys me to be defeated, hence to me, to be once defeated is to find cause for an everlasting struggle to reach the top. I became a printer's apprentice at an early age, while still attending school. My apprentice master was a highly educated and alert man. In the affairs of business and the world he had no peer. He taught me many things before I reached 12, and at 14 I had enough intelligence and experience to manage men. I was strong and manly, and I made them respect me. I developed a strong and forceful character and have maintained it still. To me, at home in my early days, there was no difference between white and black. One of my father's properties, the place where I lived most of the time, was adjoining that of a white man. He had 3 girls and 2 boys. The Wesleyan minister, another white man whose church my parents attended, also had property adjoining ours. He had 3 girls and 1 boy. All of us were playmates. We romped and were happy children playmates together. The little white girl whom I liked the most knew no better than I did myself. We were 2 innocent fools who never dreamed of a race feeling and problem. As a child, I went to school with white boys and girls, like all other Negroes. We were not called Negroes then. I had never heard the term Negro used once until I was about 14. At 14, my little white playmate and I parted. Her parents thought the time had come to separate us and draw the color line. They sent her and another sister to Edinburgh, Scotland, and told her that she was never to write or try to get in touch with me, for I was a nigger. It was then that I found for the first time that there was some difference in humanity, and that there were different races, each having its own separate and distinct social life. I did not care about the separation after I was told about it, because I never thought all during our childhood association that the girl and the rest of the children of her race were better than I was. In fact, they used to look up to me. So I simply had no regrets. After my first lesson in race distinction, I never thought of playing with white girls anymore, even if they might be next-door neighbors. At home, my sister's company was good enough for me, and at school, I made friends with the colored girls next to me. White boys and I used to frolic together. We played cricket and baseball, ran races and rode bicycles together, took each other to the river and to the sea beach to learn to swim, and made boyish efforts while out in deep water to drown each other, making a sprint for shore crying out, "Shark! Shark! Shark!" In all our experiences, however, only one black boy was drowned. He went under on a Friday afternoon after school hours, and his parents found him afloat half-eaten by sharks on the following Sunday afternoon. Since then, we boys never went back to sea. At maturity, the black and white boys separated and took different courses in life. I grew up
Sample complete. Ready to continue?